we haven't fought. Imagine that. They gotta lie. They gotta lie. They gotta lie all the time. They can't even believe their own lie. You can't even believe your own lie.
I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Tio his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he like a baby Roy. Like he like doing things with his hands down, flashy.
Too much of it. You know, I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it.
At the press conference, Teofimo Lopez gave a strong warning to Shakur Stevenson. He said he plans to punish him in the ring. Lopez explained that even if people see him as the underdog, he will prove what he can do. He warned that anyone who underestimates him will regret it and promised a powerful performance that will clearly show his skill, strength, and determination.
That was it.
They know that. They kept
It don't
dressing that
matter.
protection program
Money
for a
talk,
long
bullshit walk. Money talk,
They
bullshit
kept
walk.
dressing that protection program.
That training program shows Lopez's strong determination before his fight with Shakur Stevenson. He is confident and focused. Lopez says he will take control in the ring and prove his skill, strength, and game plan. His mindset is clear. He is fully committed to winning and showing what he can do.
Yeah. I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna beat him up.
And we know at one point you contemplated retirement. Seems like you're in a good place now. You're active. Where are you at right now? Where are you feeling about your career?
Mentally, I'm in the Bahamas somewhere, having a coquito or something, bro.
Teofimo Lopez makes it clear he will not let Shakur Stevenson take the belt he worked hard to earn. He says the title stands for years of struggle, pain, and sacrifice. For Lopez, this fight is about protecting what he built through hard work and never giving up. He strongly believes in himself and is determined to defend his place in the ring. To him, this moment is personal, and he insists no one can take away what he earned through effort, discipline, and commitment.
And talking
Exactly.
of being in the ring,
Yes.
Shakur Stevenson,
For
obviously
sure.
you guys are both in Las Vegas. I'm hearing that you did link up today. A face-off happened between the two of you?
Yeah, face-off happened, things of that nature, just to create the things that are in motion already. So we're really adamant about fighting each other next, and I can't wait for us to really lace it up. And I see him across the ring, and really when that bell rings, lights out for him.
What's it like seeing him now kind of face-to-face? When you look at him, what do you see? Because obviously you're not locked in just yet, and the closer it gets to a fight, obviously things turn a little bit. But when you do look at Shakur, what do you think of him?
I think I don't think too much of it. You know, I think that he believes in himself. That's one thing. But I'm here to destroy his dreams and all that he wants to do and become. You can't take this from me. I worked very hard for it. I've bled for this. And I'm not taking nothing from him, but I just believe that what's gonna happen next is for destiny in the boxing ring to decide.
Aoya breaks down the Shakur Stevenson vs. Teofimo Lopez fight and says it will likely go all 12 rounds. He explains that the first 6 rounds will be very important, but Shakur may not start fast. Instead, Shakur might stay on the back foot and study how Lopez fights. If Teofimo controls or clearly wins the early rounds, it could force Shakur to change his plan later, making the fight more competitive. Lopez is seen as a fast starter who uses early energy and power, and Aoya questions if he can keep that pace the whole fight. If Shakur feels he lost some early rounds, he will have to attack more later, leading to a strong and tense finish. But if Lopez loses the early rounds, Shakur could stay calm and win by a clear decision. This breakdown shows the fight as a smart chess match where timing, energy, and winning each round matter most.
Because I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Tio in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Tio can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end, because Tio, to me, is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down. And then when Shakur starts to open up, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close fight? I think if Tio comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does that, then Shakur has to fight in the tail end of that fight, and that'll make it real interesting. If if I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Tio looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Tio is going to bring anything late in the game, you know what I mean, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, you know, he's going to get gassed after like the 7th round and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur, because I've been waiting for Shakur to get into that fight where, you know, he doesn't have the fight where he doesn't have his Diego Corrales fight. You know what I mean? Where you think he's actually in danger. Shakur has been he's been outclassing everybody he's in the ring with. You know what I mean? Then the guys that you think could give him some work, like De Los Santos, I know people hate when I bring that fight up, but I want to see him actually in danger.
Shakur Stevenson says his motivation comes from a strong competitive spirit and always wanting the hardest challenges. After watching Teofimo Lopez fight before, he noticed his confident and flashy style, which reminded him of a young Roy and made him want to test himself against him. Stevenson sees this fight as an important chance to measure his skills against the top opponent and adjust to new strategies. Thinking about his earlier fight with William Zepeda, he admits it was unusual and tough, but it helped him grow and showed he could perform under pressure. He learned that fighters who push nonstop are meant to challenge him, and he proved he can handle that style. Now, against Lopez, Stevenson feels ready for the speed, power, and surprises of an elite fighter. With his focus, experience, and ability to adapt, he believes he can fight smart and prove he belongs at the highest level.
States.
But bro, what is it about you that has you, looking at a fighter that you know is the truth and then saying, I want to fight him? It seems like it should be normal if you're a fighter, right? But that stuff is dying off in the game right now. And I feel like you one of the last of the dying breed that actually want real challenges.
Yeah, I'm competitive, bro. So it's like, I want to be the best. So when I see certain guys out there, and I seen Tio his last fight, I was there front row, and I'm like, damn, this dude is like, he like a baby Roy. Like, he like doing things with his hands down, flashy. And I thought it was cool. So it kind of made me want to get in a ring with him and see if he could do them things against my style.
Your last fight was against William Zepeda in July, and you fought a totally different way. It wasn't the easiest way or the best way to fight, but I think it was good for you and your development because it not only sent a message to the rest of the division, one up, your division at that time, and then the one above you, but it sent a message to the fans. But I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like styles-wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like, guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's going to have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me against some ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me, it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy that's trying to like wear me down so much.
Right.
Chris Algieri talks about why the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez fight is so important for boxing. He says the sport needs big fights where top fighters face each other and take risks, even if losing is possible. Algieri explains that fighters can still be great even after setbacks. He believes this fight shows that idea, as it is a high-level battle based on skill and strategy, not just non-stop punches. The smart boxing will keep fans excited and focused on quality, not volume. Algieri adds that if Shakur wins, it would lock in his place among the top 5 to 7 pound-for-pound fighters, though many already think he belongs there. He compares this matchup to classic fights between the best in a division, full of drama, skill, and history, proving that elite boxing is still exciting and meaningful.
Or the health of boxing on this side of the world. Listen, there's nothing like the Garden. We've both fought there many times. I fought in the big room. There's nothing like the Garden. Just the vibe, like you said, champ, that's around that. And this fight is deserving to be here. It's that good of a fight. It's that big a fight, and especially like I said, like the health of American boxing. This is one of the best fights that can be made, and putting it in the Garden just makes too much sense.
But the idea of the turmoil, the eyes on it, the spectacle, the circus. Chris, you talked about the idea that Teofimo Lopez kind of lives in this. That's where he flourishes. That's what he loves. This idea that because there's so many eyeballs on it, it's going to be kind of a circus. Does that favor Teofimo a little bit when you look at the strategy? Yes, no?
I'm going to say well, I can't say for certain because there's no certain with Teofimo Lopez. He's one of the most up, down, left, right guys I've ever been around.
Mercurial, we could say.
I mean,
yes.
But when he is on, he's damn near unbeatable. I mean, he's such a good athlete. He has such a good boxing IQ. He's so physical and explosive. And again, I've said this on past shows. I've called him many times for Top Rank, been around fight weeks. And it just seems to me, the more out of sorts he seems, the more back against the wall it looks like, the more that he's an underdog, the better he performs. And this could be that kind of situation. New York is a tough place, man. They're already gibbering, going back and forth, saying like, you know, he reps Brooklyn, but there's kind of questions about his Brooklyn roots. Can he really rep Brooklyn in the way that he says he can? So he's already getting that heat for that. I don't know. It might be a good thing to kind of to poke the bear in terms of how well Teofimo is going to show up.
Paulie, that's a huge. You're from Brooklyn. That's a big insult to say that you're not really from Brooklyn.
Insult him a little bit.
Insult him a little bit. Insult him.
But I'll tell you what. I don't. There's so many thoughts in my head with this situation because Teofimo is at his most dangerous when he's counted out. And this is going to be one of those fights where he's going to be counted out.
Bruce Carrington breaks down Teofimo Lopez's fight with Shakur Stevenson and points out a key weakness in Lopez's style. He says Lopez can struggle against fighters who move a lot and change angles. Even though Lopez is athletic and hits hard, he may have trouble adjusting to someone who controls distance and stays disciplined. Carrington explains that Stevenson's calm mindset and smart tactics could force Lopez to miss or rush his attacks. By controlling the pace and space, Stevenson can make Lopez fight his way instead of his own. Carrington adds that Lopez's explosive power can work against him when facing a patient, mobile fighter. Stevenson's strong defense and ability to reset after attacks may frustrate Lopez and drain his energy over time. In the end, Carrington believes Lopez must improve his movement and patience to beat Stevenson. This breakdown shows that smart footwork, timing, and ring awareness can matter more than strength alone.
I feel like Tio is going to bring the fight. He's very athletic. You know, he has a lot of explosiveness, and but I do feel like when it comes to Shakur, bro, his movement may frustrate him. The only thing that worries me when it comes to Teofimo is his frustration. Like, is he going to be able to work well with a mover? You know, we've seen, difficulties that he had with Sandor Martin. We've seen the difficulties that he had with Jimmy Ortiz, guys that's been moving around and not staying still. Like, if you keep Tio moving around and he can't plant his feet, what can he do? We're going to have to find that out on, January 31st. And I think Shakur, he's probably one of the best guys to, move his feet, be on defense, being hella patient and frustrating a fighter, bro. Like, so, I don't know. We've seen Tio get frustrated to the point where he's asking himself, do I still got it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to see what his mentality is going to be like come January 31st.
Do you think that his experience on the biggest of stages, his two biggest wins, he was an underdog. And both guys, ironically enough, were southpaws like Shakur. That play any factor to you, man?
Nah, styles is different. The styles are totally different. Lomachenko don't fight like Shakur. Josh Taylor don't fight like Shakur. I don't see just because southpaw that same thing will happen. I feel like certain techniques could be used to fight Shakur, yeah. But in terms of like that approach of the fight, nah. Like Shakur fights totally different. You gotta be able to do some out of pocket stuff with Shakur. You gotta throw while he's throwing. That's probably some of the only times that he's able to get hit. Only time he's open. So yeah, other than that, bro, it's gonna be a pretty tough night for Teofimo Lopez, but I feel like it's still gonna be an exciting fight.
Gary Antoine Russell gives a close look at Teofimo Lopez by focusing on a specific version of him, not just his overall talent. He points to Lopez's fight with Vasily Lomachenko as an example, showing how Lopez does best when he mixes strong pressure with control. Russell says Lopez succeeds when he stays calm while attacking, pushing opponents into bad spots without leaving himself open. This mix of power and discipline makes him very hard to beat. According to Russell, when Lopez sticks to his plan, controls the pace, uses his athleticism and times his attacks well, he can take over rounds and keep even top fighters on defense.
Brad needs to take him up on that offer. strap because you got a strap and you play with it.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I mean, look, like you said, the first thing you said was bluffing McMuffin, right? So you don't think that he's gonna do that. Let's just say that's the case. Let's say he wins this fight, but he doesn't win this fight. Whatever happens.
Right, because he made a statement after he said, "Oh, let's see, I'm gonna go back down to 35." So which one is it, man? He kind of 6'7" with it.
There you go.
Come on, which one is it?
So let's talk about 140 then, because obviously there's other champions there. One who you've been going back and forth with recently online, one that you have history with, and you got other guys, Subriel there, somebody else you had history, Richardson Hitchens. What's the route for you going forward after your next fight?
After my next fight, unify. I've always let it be known. I want to be undisputed in my division. I want to unify. Anybody who got a title at the time, that's what I need to see next after my next up-and-coming fight.
Gary,
go ahead.
Just talk about, obviously your division is hot right now, this fight, your fight coming up, you know, maybe one of the biggest ones in Teofimo versus Shakur. Just looking at that fight stylistically, how does it play out in the ring?
It's 50-50. You know, in order for you to participate in this sport, you got to have a high level of confidence. I feel like both of them has a high level of confidence, Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, but styles make fights. Naturally, I think Teofimo Lopez is stronger than Shakur. Naturally, I think he has more athleticism than Shakur, and he got a good IQ on the sport itself. But Shakur, I feel like he's a more smarter fighter. He's a more technical fighter. You know, I'm not saying that he's a square or he's just a textbook fighter, but he's seasoned, he's poised. I feel like mentally he's more mature. Like, he don't go outside of the boundaries on taking risks. So a lot of times you'll see him fight somebody that could be stiff competition.
Russell also says Lopez's speed and power are even more dangerous when he uses patience and fights smart. This lets him land clean shots without putting himself at risk. By looking at the Lomachenko fight, Russell shows that Lopez's success is not just about strength or talent, but about smart decisions, adjusting in the ring and staying focused. This breakdown explains that when Lopez stays calm and follows a clear plan, he becomes a serious threat at the highest level.
A born fighter to a degree. You know, that's why everybody was criticizing him for, oh, he's a born fighter. He's a careful fighter. And I feel like with Teofimo Lopez, he's going to be a careful fighter. Now, just because he's a careful fighter doesn't mean that he isn't punctual with how he do things. I think Shakur, he got a lot of this arsenal that he can use to make him be victorious, as well as Teofimo Lopez. You know what I mean? So it's a 50-50 fight, and it depends on what fighters show up the night of the fight. Right. You know, but if I had to give you my whole honest truth, if Teofimo Lopez show up and is ready to fight just like how he fought Lomachenko, he'll win.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for what's coming next.